From the CyberHub bunker and studio, you're tuning in to the CyberHub Podcast. And now for your host and CISO, James Azar.
Well, good morning, security gang. Wednesday, October 18th, 2023. Good morning. Thank you for being with us here today. We've got a busy show this morning around cyber. So we're going to get into it because there's a lot of zero days going on. There's a lot of activity. And for once, we're going to focus on, for the first time since October 7th, I'm focusing on cyber today for my mental health, honestly, for my mental health today. So tomorrow I'll kind of loop everyone into what's going on in Israel and the war there. But for today, mental health day for me, I need to focus on getting y'all the best, most effective cyber news. So I'm going to do that this morning. Hope you'll stick around for that. We're live, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, now X, Twitch, and Rumble. Thank you for everyone who's watching us live. Join me for our ceremonial cup of coffee. This is my double espresso coffee cup. Cheers, y'all. And with that being said, let's go ahead and kick off this morning's show. A recently patched critical severity vulnerability in the Citrix NetScaler application. One, it's in the NetScaler application for the delivery controller, the ADC, and the NetScaler gateway are being exploited as the zero day since as has been exploited as a zero day since at least August, according to Mandiant. The issue CVE 2023-4966 has a CVSS score of 9.4, can be exploited without authentication to leak sensitive information from on-prem appliances that are configured as a gateway or as an AAA virtual server. Citrix did announce for patches for this and a high severity vulnerability and gateway on October 10th, but no mention of the exploit. The flaws was addressed in NetScaler's ADC and NetScaler's gateway versions 14.1 through 8.50, 13.1 through 49.15, and 13.0 through 92.19. And then the NetScaler ADC versions, it's 13.1-fibs, 13.1237, .64, 12.12 FIPS to 12.1 to 55.300 and 12.1 to NDCPP and 12.1 to 55.300. Also, Mandiant's warning that the vulnerability has been exploited in attacks targeting government, professional services, and technology organizations. Successful exploitation could allow an attacker to hijack existing authenticated sessions, bypass stronger authentication methods like MFA, which is significant. Yesterday on the show, we talked about the CISA's list of the top 10 most common misconfigurations within an environment. Weak or bad deployment of MFA is one of them. This specific vulnerability does allow them to override MFA. And again, this goes to the significance of patch management. One of the things on the list yesterday, patch management. Again, when you're not patching, when you're not addressing, and it's not just patching, it's patching and ensuring nothing happened before you applied the patch and monitoring the behavior, meaning you go back and you say, right, this has been around since April, as an example. And you guys are going to tell me, James, there's not enough time in the day to do this. You have to do this. You can't cut corners in a security program. You can't do it. I'm sorry. Just not a thing. So if you don't want to cut corners, here's what you do. You go and if you've got you keep logs for 6 months. You go back 6 months. You look at the behavior. You run it through a model to check the behavior across the last 6 months. You see when behavior changed. When behavior changed, you start looking at those logs deeper. All right, was someone trying to exploit this specific vulnerability? When did it come out? What's the date? You start to match the two. You go, yeah, we've definitely could have been impacted by it. Now let's apply the patch. Now let's see if that behavior is still there 3, 4, 5 days later. If it's gone, then you realize you've patched it. Now let's look at across the behavior, what changed across our entire environment from that day. And it's a stepped process, but it's an important one that has often failed to be done in patch management. And it's so important because you got to be able to backtrace to the fact, was this zero day exploited in my environment? Were they able to move laterally into my network? Is there some sort of payload hiding behind a legit process in my environment? And where did this activity go? And you can see it because it would be anomalous activity. It wouldn't be something natural as a stated point of view. And they're going after organizations, and it's significant. That's that. yesterday we talked about this Cisco zero day, and this Cisco zero day is like insane. My good buddy Reggie wrote all about it on Substack, and I'll share that on our Substack after the show. But over 10,000 Cisco devices have been hacked into iOS XE zero day attacks. 10,000. All right. This is like crazy. There's over 34,000 devices that have been compromised in this CVE, according to Orange Certs Coordination Center. Attacks have been exploited over this zero day. 10,000 Cisco iOS XE devices with malicious implants. The list of product running this include enterprise switches, aggregation, industrial routers, access point wireless controllers, and so much more. VoneCheck says the maximum severity vulnerability for CVE 2023-2019 or 8 has been extensively exploited in attacks targeting the system with the web user interface feature enabled. It also that also have the HTTP or HTTPS service feature toggled on. There is no patch as of yet, y'all. There isn't one, meaning you really got to disable your HTTP. You have to do it. Around 143,000 of these servers are available. 25,000 in the US, followed by the Philippines, Chile, Mexico, India, Peru, Australia, Brazil, Thailand, and France topped the top 10 companies with the most exploitable Cisco devices. You got to get your patch management under control. You have to do it, y'all. There's just no other way around it. None. Let's go ahead and talk about U.S. data compromises hitting an all-time high, with supply chain attacks and zero-day exploits really leading the way. Move It really being the top reason. The Identity Theft Resource Center research released last week says that records of PII, this is the worst year ever, essentially. More than 2,100 organizations filed data breach notices through the first 9 months, beating the previous record of 1,862. All of this attributed, most of this attributed to one single case, which is the Move It file transfer service. Supply chain attacks are definitely a big part of the increase of what we're seeing. The top 8 data compromises in just the third quarter is HSA, Maximus, all part of that. IBM Consulting, also all part of Move It. All of them are Move It. If you take a look, the Free Cycle Network wasn't Move It. Duolingo wasn't Move It. Tampa General Hospital wasn't, but then everyone else was. So, I mean, literally half this list. So there's that for you. We're not having our best year in 2023. Let's just say that. And DLink for their end are confirming a data breach after an employee phishing attack. The Taiwanese networking equipment manufacturer confirmed the data breach linked to information stolen from its network and put up for sale on breach forums earlier this month. The attackers claim to have stolen source code for D-Link's DView network management software. The stolen data allegedly includes names, addresses, phone numbers, account registration dates, and user login. Users' last sign-in dates. The threat actor also provided a sample of 45 stolen records with timestamps between 2012 and 2013. They have 3 million lines of customer information, according to the attacker. So there's that. The data stolen was from a test lab system, and apparently they got in through a phishing email by phishing one of their employees. On more patching news, because foundational cyber is so important. It's not sexy, doesn't get the clicks, but the show's not about the clicks or the sexy. This show is about the foundation of cyber at the bare essence of it. It's not the tools. All of those help. You got to be able to do the basics right, and the basics is good patch management. And for that, over 387 new security patches are part of the October 2023 Oracle vulnerability patch essentially schedule. More than 40 security patches address critical severity flaws, and more than 200 resolve bugs that can be exploited remotely without authentication, according to the advisory. Security Week identified 185 unique CVEs in Oracle's October 2023 CPU, many of them impacting multiple products. So patches were also released for Fusion middleware that had 46 fixes, and MySQL as well. Oracle Communications, 91 security patches, 60 of which were unauthenticated. I mean, this is crazy. All financial services application, 103 fixes, 79 address vulnerabilities that are remotely exploitable without authentication. Their whole product suite. Upgrade your Oracle systems now. Thank you, and you're welcome. Over 40,000 admin portal accounts still use admin as a password. Foundational cybersecurity, weak password management. That was on the list of the top 10 yesterday. I'm just reinforcing it. I didn't look for these stories. They just happen to be there. Security researchers found that IT administrators are using tens of thousands of weak passwords to protect access to portals, leaving the door open to cyber attacks on enterprise networks. Out of more than 1.8 million admin credentials analyzed, over 40,000 entries were admin, showing the default password still widely accepted by IT admins. Well, no one will think about it. Yeah, they're in front of y'all. Speechless as usual. Speechless as usual. Password managers. Y'all heard of them? They're not very expensive, very effective. And a cyber espionage campaign is targeting APAC region, dubbed TetrisPhantom. The attacker covertly spied on and harvested sensitive data from APAC government entities by exploiting a particular type of secure USB drive protected by hardware encryption to ensure that the secure storage and transfer of data between computer systems, according to Kaspersky. The Russian firm, which detected ongoing activity in early 2023, said the USB drive offers hardware encryption and are employed by government organizations worldwide to secure and store data transfer. The clandestine intrusion said has not been linked to any known threat actor, but the high level of sophistication points to a nation state crew potentially. So we'll see that. But there you go. Wherever you put security, someone's going to find a way to get there. You got to layer it out. You've got to be good at your foundation security in order to get there. That's it for our show this morning. I didn't do a Reaction Wednesday. I know I didn't. I'm sorry. I see your comments. Reaction Wednesday. No Reaction Wednesday. We had a few stuff submitted, but I honestly I needed a mental health day. I needed to just try to get back to some sort of normal because the last few weeks have not been that. So with that being said, we'll be back tomorrow to wrap up this week and a whole lot more. Thank you all for tuning in. Make sure to comment, subscribe, share, and like our show. Until next time, until tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern, we'll be back live with everything latest and greatest. Thanks for tuning in and stay cyber safe.
We love feedback, so make sure to connect with us on social media and subscribe to our podcast on your favorite podcast listening platform.